All right, let's jump straight into this explainer and systematically unpack the pure, chaotic logic of one of television's all-time greatest characters, Phoebe Buffy. If you've watched her navigate the world, you know for a fact she doesn't exactly play by the standard rules of society. Instead, she operates on this completely unique frequency, one that results in some of the most bizarre and hilarious side quests we've ever witnessed. So today, we're going to break down the actual science behind her silliness. Now, this famous phrase isn't just some random funny name. It's actually the perfect hook into how Phoebe's brain works. You see, her comedy isn't just random. It follows its own weird internal logic. Whenever she discovers a loophole or learns a new piece of information, she commits to it with this baffling, absolute sincerity. This whole Princess Consuela moment, it's just her realizing that the rules of the adult world are totally made up, so, hey, why not just make up her own?
Okay, let's kick things off with Act 1, Eccentric Side Jobs. When you think about her resume, she commits to this rapid-fire list of bizarre side quests like her life depends on it. One day, she's Chandler's temporary secretary, literally orchestrating fake diversions to sneak employees out of a party. And the next, she's selling ordinary steak knives just to afford a Saturn. Or how about when she was a funeral caterer? She actually demanded a grieving widow pay her every single penny before she would leave the property. And the crazy part? She approaches every single one of these odd jobs with completely unshakable, totally misplaced confidence.
Honestly, her hilarious lack of qualifications is summed up perfectly when she's a telemarketer for Empire Office Supplies. She happily accepts the job selling toner, politely takes a rejection on a practice run, gets told she's ready to hit the phones, and only then pauses to ask, wait, what is toner? It's just peak Phoebe, literally jumping into the deep end without even checking if there's water in the pool.
Then there's the catering gig. Monica tries to sideline her by putting her in charge of just cups and ice. But Phoebe doesn't accept defeat, right? She escalates. She creates a cup hat, a cup banner, a full-on cup chandelier. Then she rolls in with crushed ice, cubed ice, and mystical dry ice. By the end of the night, absolutely nobody is touching the fancy Tuscan finger food because they're all filling up on Phoebe's snow cones. She turned a total throwaway task into a complete hostile takeover of the party.
Of course, we cannot talk about her job history without bringing up her iconic alter ego, Regina Falange. She whips out this businesswoman in town on business persona to investigate two casino dealers who happen to have identical hands, begging some random impartial guy to showcase them. And later on, she revives the Falange alias to rescue a friend's terrible audition by faking a regional French dialect from the completely made-up town of Estilleur.
Moving right along to Act 2, Hilarious Misunderstandings.
So Phoebe spends days trying to reverse engineer her grandmother's sacred, deeply secret French chocolate chip cookie recipe from a single frozen crumb. After burning through 22 batches and riding the intense highs and lows of nutmeg, the truth finally drops. Her beloved grandmother, Nestle Toulouse? Yeah, she didn't exist. It was quite literally just the back of the American Nestle's Toll House cookie bag the entire time. The fact that her mind romanticized a corporate brand into a sacred French legacy is just pure Phoebe.
Her supreme confidence also completely blinds her to basic facts, especially when playing hairstylist. Monica asks for a haircut like Demi Moore, the glamorous star of Disclosure and Indecent Proposal. But Phoebe cuts it to match Dudley Moore, the male star of Arthur. And when confronted with this disastrously short, curly mess, her only defense is, Demi Moore is not a he. She completely rewrites pop culture to fit the narrative playing out in her own head.
And then there's the name change spiral. What starts as an innocent attempt to get creative after getting married turns into this wild standoff. Day 1, she heads to the office to become Buffet Hannigan, realizes she can pick literally anything, and walks out as Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. Day 2, Mike instantly retaliates by changing his name to Crap Bag. Yep, first name Crap, last name Bag. The whole standoff only ends on day 3 when he gently informs her that a banana hammock is actually a Speedo. It just shows how incredibly fast her logic can snowball out of control.
Which brings us to Act 3, Bizarre Physical Comedy. Take the famous French lesson. She's trying to teach Joey French for an audition, speaking it perfectly. Joey responds with absolute gibberish, je de coup plow. So logically, she breaks it down syllable by syllable, je m'appelle. And somehow Joey turns that into an entirely new string of confident nonsense, M'appelle, claim, Claude, call, blue. The physical comedy here is just gold. You see her slowly lose her mind, visibly vibrating with this escalating frustration, until she's legitimately threatening to put his head through a wall, which is wild for someone who's usually so incredibly peaceful.
Or how about her epic man versus machine battle with the beeping smoke detector? Just think about this escalation. First, she violently rips the thing right off the wall. Then she wraps it in a customized blanket. When that doesn't work, she chucks it down a trash chute. It literally takes a fireman physically returning the device for her to finally look under the plastic cover and realize, oh, there's a giant reset button right there. She would rather go to war with an appliance than read the instructions.
Even when her physical state changes, her adaptations are brilliantly eccentric. When she's heavily pregnant and her acoustic guitar doesn't fit around her belly anymore, she doesn't stop playing music. Nope, she just decides to aggressively play all her acoustic folk songs on a snare drum, proudly announcing it sounds really cool after literally 1 hour of practice.
And finally, her physical confidence is so overwhelming that she tries to intimidate a citizen into apologizing to a piece of flora. She catches a woman putting out a cigarette on a tree, and she doesn't just scold her, she claims to be the NYPD. When the woman calls her bluff, Phoebe screams, "You apologize to the tree right now or I am calling for backup." She legitimately threatens to call an imaginary squad until the woman actually apologizes to the wood. Only then does she whisper into her imaginary radio to cancel backup. It's incredible.
The method to the madness, absolute confidence. Bringing it all together, the true charm of Phoebe Buffay is her utter, undeniable commitment, even when she is dead wrong. Whether she's selling toner she doesn't understand, fighting a smoke detector, or demanding apologies for trees, she gives it 100%. She is living proof that if you act like you know exactly what you're doing, most of the world will just kind of go along with it.
So, looking back at all the glorious chaos we've charted today, which of Phoebe's bizarre side quests would you most want to join? Because let's be honest, whether you're serving up snow cones with dry ice or hunting down the secret recipe of Nestle Toulouse, who wouldn't